In today's episode, we're diving into the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that has seen a lot of exciting developments recently. As we explore what's happening with the Eagles, it's important to note that we're opening up the floor for all of you, our viewers, to ask questions, share opinions, and offer insights. We want this to be a conversation where your thoughts and feedback are as much a part of the discussion as anything else. Our goal is to deliver content that's not only informative but also engaging, providing fresh perspectives while sparking deeper reflections on the team's current state. So, don't hesitate to get involved and share your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss any of the action. Let's get into the topic at hand. The ongoing debate about whether Grant Calcaterra can step up to take over for Dallas Goedert or if the Eagles should consider drafting another tight end. Recently, Dallas Goedert restructured his contract to lower his cap hit, which made his return a more cost-effective decision for the team. This move is significant, as Goedert remains one of the most complete tight ends in the NFL. The Eagles chose not to select another tight end in the draft, and while they did bring in a few other players to fill out the roster, none of them quite measure up to Goedert's skill set. He stands out not only as a reliable pass catcher, but also as an exceptional blocker, and his ability to gain yards after the catch is second to none. Goedert is incredibly versatile, capable of running a variety of routes, and his importance has only grown, especially considering the injuries that have affected some of the team's wide receivers. Looking at the tight end room, the Eagles' depth is impressive. They've got Goedert, who remains the primary target in the passing game, but they also have the promising Grant Calcaterra, a tall, athletic player with solid receiving skills. Harrison Bryant provides added value in the red zone, while Kylan Granson is a standout as a blocker. However, despite the strength of this group, the question of whether Calcaterra can truly replace Goedert is one that continues to come up. My feeling is that while Calcaterra is a good player, he's not quite at the level where he could take over Goedert's role as the primary tight end. We could see this situation become more relevant next offseason if Goedert's situation changes, whether due to injury or other factors. Calcaterra is a solid backup for now, but it's possible the team might look for a more long-term solution down the line. There is also a suggestion in the comments that the Eagles might consider bringing in safety Justin Simmons. The idea behind this is that Simmons could provide valuable mentorship, given his familiarity with the defense that the Eagles run. Simmons, a four-time All-Pro, has been a standout in the NFL for years and could be an asset both on and off the field. But does that mean the Eagles should pursue him? While I think it's unlikely that they would bring him in as a starter, it's definitely an intriguing option to consider. He would bring depth to the secondary and could play a key role in mentoring younger players, especially in the secondary. What's more, Simmons has been successful in Vic Fangio's system, which is similar to what the Eagles run under defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon. He could help improve the defensive backfield, and with his leadership and experience, he would undoubtedly be an asset to the locker room. Simmons has more than 30 career interceptions, showcasing his ability to make plays on the ball. He's durable too, having played in 13 or more games in 8 out of his 9 seasons in the league. Even though the Eagles already have some strong options at safety, including Reed Blankenship, Andrew Makuba, and Sidney Brown, the addition of a player like Simmons would add even more depth to an already stacked defense. And the best part? Simmons wouldn't come with a massive price tag, which makes this a low-risk, high-reward situation. While the Eagles don't necessarily need him, it's a move that could pay off in the long run. Another key topic of discussion is George Pickens' recent trade to the Dallas Cowboys. This move, while still fresh, could have major implications for the NFC East. On Wednesday, I woke up to the news that the Cowboys were making a move for Pickens, giving up a third-round pick in 2026 and another late-round pick. My first reaction was that this could make the NFC East even more competitive in 2025. Looking at the moves made by all the teams in the division, it's clear that they've all been aggressive this offseason. They're all looking to catch up to the Eagles, who have reigned as the dominant force in the division for the past few years. The Washington Commanders made it to the NFC Championship game in 2024, but were steamrolled by the Eagles, who dropped 55 points on them in that matchup. While Washington's playoff run was a surprise, they've made several smart moves this offseason in free agency and the draft to build on that success. As for the New York Giants, they added Abdul Carter in the third round of the draft and also brought in Jackson Dart, hoping to develop him as a potential quarterback of the future. They've also added some depth in other positions like Darius Alexander, Marcus Baugh, and Cam Skattebo, which should make them a team to watch in 2025. But the biggest move in the NFC East came from the Cowboys, who acquired George Pickens. Pickens is a player with a ton of upside, though there are some question marks surrounding his emotional state and how he'll handle the pressure of playing in Dallas. At 6'4", Pickens has an incredible wingspan and is capable of making highlight reel catches. He's one of the most promising young receivers in the NFL, and pairing him with CeeDee Lamb gives the Cowboys one of the most dynamic receiving duos in the league. Pickens is entering the final year of his contract, which adds another layer of intrigue to the situation. He might be motivated to perform at an elite level to secure a new contract, and the Cowboys could benefit from having that extra drive on their side. Dak Prescott, who needs a reliable target to complement Lamb, could see his production improve with Pickens on the field. This move definitely increases the competition within the NFC East, which is shaping up to be one of the most exciting divisions in the NFL next season. It's been a long time since we've had a repeat division winner, and this could be the year that another team challenges the Eagles for the top spot. The Eagles' divisional matchups are going to be tougher than ever, especially as teams like Washington, Dallas, and the Giants continue to improve. Finally, let's look at the broader picture for the Eagles as they head into 2025. They'll have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL, and that's going to mean some real challenges ahead. Mike Tomlin, the Eagles' head coach, is going to need to pull out all the stops to keep his team at the top of the NFC. The NFC East is going to be a battle, and while the Eagles are still the team to beat, they're going to face some tough competition from their division rivals. As we continue to break down the intricacies of the Philadelphia Eagles' current situation, we cannot overlook the importance of strategic decisions that have been made in terms of player acquisitions and overall team structure. When analyzing the team's depth chart and the roster moves made this offseason, one of the key aspects that stands out is the Eagles' ability to maintain a competitive edge. The Eagles have solidified their position as a top-tier contender, but as we've seen in recent years, success in the NFL is often determined by how well teams adapt to unforeseen circumstances, whether it's injuries, contract issues, or even the unpredictability of other teams making unexpected moves. One of the most interesting aspects of the offseason for the Eagles has been their decision to focus heavily on the offensive line. The team's offensive line has long been one of their greatest strengths, and maintaining that high level of play is crucial for the success of their offense moving forward. Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, and Lane Johnson are all expected to continue to anchor the line, providing stability and protection for Jalen Hurts. The addition of Trevor Keegan, Drew Kendall, and other young players will add competition for depth roles, which could be vital given the physical nature of the NFL. The depth along the line has been a point of emphasis, and the Eagles are making sure they have enough capable bodies to weather the rigors of the season. However, it's not just about maintaining the offensive line. It's about evolving with the times. The NFL is moving towards more dynamic offensive strategies, and having a strong offensive line will allow the Eagles to exploit different tactics and schemes. Whether it's running the ball more effectively, offering Hurts ample protection in the pocket, or allowing for more creative play designs, the offensive line has to remain versatile. The Eagles have shown in the past that they are capable of playing a variety of offensive styles, and the strength of their line has played a major role in their success. In the 2023 season, Hurts had the protection he needed to make plays downfield, and with the offensive line continuing to evolve, the team can expect similar, if not better, performance in the future. While the offensive line is a major focus, the defensive side of the ball also requires ongoing attention. The Eagles' defense has been one of the most dominant in the league, and while they have managed to keep key pieces in place, they cannot afford to rest on their laurels. There are positions that could still be strengthened to ensure they remain competitive against some of the league's top offenses. Cornerback, for example, is a position that continues to be a topic of discussion. While the team has solid players in the secondary, the depth at cornerback remains an issue that needs to be addressed. With names like Darius Slay and James Bradbury still holding down the fort, It is clear that the Eagles have strong veterans in the mix, but the future of the position beyond 2025 is something that will need to be considered. The issue of depth in the cornerback position is amplified by the reality that injuries can play a significant role in determining the success of a team. In the NFL, the level of physicality makes it almost impossible to predict who will remain healthy throughout an entire season. With the Eagles being such a well-rounded team, the challenge will be ensuring that they have enough quality players at every position to cover for any potential injuries. The defensive line is another area where the team has been known for its strength, with players like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and others leading the way. But as with any position, the question of depth arises. The Eagles are no strangers to dealing with injuries, and having capable backups will be crucial. As we shift gears to look at some of the other key players on the roster, one name that stands out is Jalen Hurts. Hurts' rise to prominence has been one of the most exciting stories in recent NFL history, and the Eagles are undoubtedly building their offense around his skill set. His ability to make plays with his legs and arm has been the catalyst for the team's offensive success. But the real challenge for Hurts is continuing to evolve as a player and refine his skills, particularly in terms of consistency and decision-making. In the past, there have been moments where Hurts has looked unstoppable, but there have also been times when he's struggled under pressure, especially in crucial moments of the game. As the Eagles move forward into 2025, the expectation will be that Hurts becomes even more polished as a passer, which will open up new avenues for the offense to thrive. The Eagles' commitment to Hurts has been reflected in their decisions to build around him with weapons like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. However, the addition of Grant Calcaterra as a backup tight end and the potential of rookie players will give Hurts even more targets to work with. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Eagles' offense is their ability to create mismatches, and Hurts' ability to utilize all of his weapons will be key to their success. With a dynamic offensive line, a multifaceted running game, and a group of talented receivers, Hurts has all the tools to lead this team to great heights. Now, the question that continues to linger is whether the Eagles have done enough to stay ahead of the competition. The NFC East has historically been one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL, and with teams like the Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders all making moves to improve, the Eagles will not have an easy road to the division title. The NFC East has been a division that sees a lot of turnover, and while the Eagles have been the dominant force in recent years, the other teams are closing the gap. The Dallas Cowboys' acquisition of George Pickens is a prime example of how the competition in the division is heating up. Pickens, a talented wide receiver with a lot of potential, will give the Cowboys another weapon on offense. While there are still concerns about his consistency and emotional stability, there's no denying his talent. With Pickens joining CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys now have one of the most formidable receiving duos in the NFL. This addition to their offense will only make their games against the Eagles that much more interesting. It also raises the stakes for the Eagles, who will need to stay sharp to keep their position at the top of the NFC East. But the Eagles are not just focused on the division. They're looking at the bigger picture. Their goals extend beyond just winning the NFC East. They are looking to be a Super Bowl contender once again, and they have the talent to make that a reality. But that success will depend on a variety of factors: health, execution, and the ability to handle pressure in the postseason. As we saw in the past, the Eagles have a solid foundation, but the competition in the NFC is fierce, and there are many teams who will be just as determined to reach the top. Looking ahead, there will be challenges, no doubt. But with the players the Eagles have in place and the coaching staff they've assembled, they have the potential to be one of the most well-rounded teams in the league. As we get closer to the start of the season, there will be more questions to answer, and the competition in the NFC East will only get more intense. But for now, the Eagles are in a good position, and with the right moves and continued growth, they could once again be the team to beat in 2025. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a surprising twist that has stirred both fans and analysts alike, defensive end Josh Sweat has openly expressed regret about leaving the Philadelphia Eagles. Once a cornerstone of the Eagles' formidable defense, Sweat departed the team in what many considered strategic move for both his career and the franchise. Now, months after his exit, the player has broken his silence, revealing the emotional and professional toll the decision has taken. Sweat's tenure with the Eagles was marked by consistency, heart, and a steady rise in performance. Drafted in 2018, he quickly became one of the most reliable names on the defensive line. His speed off the edge, relentless motor, and team-first mentality made him a fan favorite and a valued leader in the locker room. In interviews during his final seasons in Philadelphia, Sweat frequently emphasized his bond with teammates and his respect for the coaching staff. However, the landscape changed following his departure. Though the specifics of his new team and contract remain secondary to the personal reflections he's now shared, it's clear that Sweat has struggled to recapture the same sense of belonging and identity he had with the Eagles. Looking back, I didn't realize how much that team meant to me, Sweat admitted. I thought I needed a change, maybe a bigger role or a different environment, but sometimes you don't know what you have until you lose it. The confession has reignited conversations about loyalty in professional sports and the emotional complexity behind athlete decisions. While performance metrics and salary cap considerations often dominate headlines, Sweat's statement is a reminder that players are human too, susceptible to doubt, attachment, and longing for a sense of home. Sweat's future remains uncertain, but his candidness has earned him renewed respect across the league. For Eagles fans, it's a bittersweet moment, a reminder of what could have been, and the deep connection between a city and its players. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.